Ahoy, mateys, and welcome to the Pirate Republic. Okay, straight up, I've changed the name once again. So it's no longer the Pirate Fan Club, and it's no longer, I don't know, whatever the hell that I had named it in the beginning. I don't even remember. I think I'm getting old. In fact, I do know that I'm old. So the Pirate Republic is the new name for this podcast, and I've rebranded a few things. I've rebranded not my personal website, but the Pirate Fan Club website to thepiraterepublic.com. I've also started a newsletter there if you want to get a weekly newsletter about all the pirate happenings, all the pirate enthusiast stuff that goes on each week. This will have a little bit of history. It'll have pirate events, pirate merchandise, pirate stories, and sometimes how it relates to our day-to-day lives. Also, I am probably more than halfway through the second book in my series. The first book being Pirates of the Wild West. And most of you have probably found this podcast through that book. But if you haven't, that book is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, blah, 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 other places, including my website, bryancantrell.com, where you can get a signed copy if you so wish one. So the second book is Pirates of World War II. So all of our favorite pirate characters, the ones that at least had survived through the first book, start off being transported to Pearl Harbor in 1941. I'm having a really good time writing this. I'm excited to spend the summer finishing it, editing it, and then getting it out. Let's see, what else? So go to the thepiraterepublic.com if you want to subscribe to the newsletter and see other stuff. I'm still updating that website as often as possible with new information, new fun stories, things like that. Today, we are going to talk about Captain Jack Sparrow. I usually do pirates that are true to history, and I'm not going to deviate from that because what I'm going to tell you is the Captain Jack Sparrow character that Johnny Depp has done such an amazing job creating and bringing back this wonderful genre to all of us, was based on a real character. Now, Depp himself didn't go back in history to find a pirate that he could emulate, but the writers of the story did. Sparrow was actually created in the shadow of a pirate named John Ward, sometimes known as Jack Ward, but otherwise known as Birdie. Yes, that's where the Sparrow comes from. His nickname was Birdie. All right, it's time to set sail into the life of Jack Ward. Strap on that cutlass and load up the blunderbuss. It's time for a pirate tale. We all know him as Captain Jack Sparrow, the rum-loving rogue who staggered into pop culture history with eyeliner, charm, and a compass that never quite pointed north. But long before Johnny Depp made piracy fashionable again, a real-life sea scoundrel was carving his name across the Mediterranean, and his name was John Ward. Today we uncover the true story behind one of the most dangerous and unpredictable and mostly wildly successful pirates of the 17th century. A man who traded his king for a crescent moon, turned Turk, drank like a fish, and may just be the real Jack Sparrow. Welcome to the Pirate Republic. It was around the year of our Lord 1604. England's navy was fat with pressed men. Common folk forced under the king's command to ride aboard all of the naval ships. And among them was a young man named John Ward, serving aboard the Lion's Whelp in the Channel Fleet. Now, Ward wasn't much for taking orders. He wasn't much for salt beef and moldy biscuits either. As one contemporary put it, he and his mates were feeding on the king's salt with not a pence to buy a bissel when they came ashore. So he hatched a plan, or perhaps as pirates are wont to do, he made it up as he went along. According to Andrew Barker, a sailor who would come to regret crossing paths with Ward, the moment of mutiny began in a Plymouth tavern. There, glass raised, Ward declared, "My mates, what's to be done? Here's a scurvy world, and as scurvy we live in it. This night, when the captain and the officer shall conjecture nothing but what we are drawing dry to the pot, We'll be diving in arms deep in the fugitives' bags. Okay, I'll put that in plainer terms. Screw the king, let's steal a ship. And so they did. The first was a small 25-ton bark from Portsmouth Harbor, and then they stole another, and then a bigger one. And then once they had 3 ships between them, Ward's crew elected him captain. Now, mind you, this might be one of the first recorded instances of pirates choosing their own leader. The age of rogue democracy had begun. Now, Ward and his growing crew slipped past the Straits of Gibraltar and made their way to Morocco, where there was a pirate haven on the Barbary coast. There he recruited more outlaws, more guns, more daring souls, and by 1606 he'd secured himself a most powerful patron, Uthman Dey, ruler of Tunis, a janissary commander with an eye for profit. The deal was simple. Ward could plunder to his black heart's content in the area so long as the share of booty went to Tunis. Under the banner of an uneasy alliance, Ward flourished. With lieutenants like William Graves and ships like the Gift and the Little John, he turned the Mediterranean into his personal hunting grounds. Venetian merchant ships became his favorite prey, fat with gold, spice, and silk. He captured the Ruby, the Kiminari, and more. But none compared to the monster that lay ahead. On April 26, 1607, on the coast of Cyprus, Ward's fleet, which was a motley patchwork of stolen ships, spotted a beast, the Rhaenyra Sodanar. She was a Venetian argosy, more than 1,500 tons and bristling with guns. Most pirates would have turned tail, but Ward, no, he attacked. A 3-hour battle ensued. Chain shot flew like steel hail. Fires broke out. The Venetian captain faced mutiny from within, and finally he surrendered. The plunder? 2 million ducats, nearly £500,000 sterling, enough to bankrupt a noble family, enough to buy kings. And back in England, the court panicked. Venice all but declared war against them, and John Ward became a household name, celebrated by rogues, cursed by monarchs, and watched by every navy on the sea. With the prize ship under his command, Ward returned to Tunis and refitted the Rhaenyra Sodanar into a warship fit for Neptune himself, 60 guns and a black heart. Then came the rumors. In 1608, wreckage was found off the coast of Greece. Some claimed Ward was dead. He wasn't. Still alive, and now persona non grata in the Christian world. Ward wrote to King James I, begging a royal pardon. The king refused. Venice still demanded his head. So Ward made a choice. He shed his Christian skin. He converted to Islam and took the name Yusuf Rees, or Chakor, meaning the axe. He married an Italian woman in Tunis and kept sending money back to his wife in England, though whether she wanted it is another tale entirely. And here's a curious twist, matey. The old salt had a soft spot under all of that cannon smoke. His second wife, an Italian lass, called him by a tender nickname, Birdie. Imagine that. The scourge of the Mediterranean, christened like a pet canary in his own home. Some say it was because how he paced the decks like a nervous bird. Others reckoned it came from the way he flitted from woman to woman, port to port, never staying still long enough to be caged. Whatever the reason, it's said that the name stuck, and Birdie Ward became the quiet whisperer behind his fiercer titles. He kept drinking, kept swearing, kept teaching younger corsairs the dark arts of piracy. One sailor described him as very short, with little hair, swarthy, drunk from morning to night, a fool and an idiot out of his trade. Maybe, but he was their fool, and rich as hell. By 1612, Ward decided to give up active piracy. But he didn't fade into obscurity. He remained in Tunis, living like a corsair king, training crews, mending ships, whispering secrets of gunpowder and tide. He died in 1622, Some say of the plague. Others say the drink finally got him. But what he left behind was legend. Ballads sang of Captain Ward and the rainbow. Plays were staged, like A Christian Turned Turk. Tales swirled that his nickname was Sharky, a name still used for Royal Navy men named Ward to this day. And then, centuries later, came a new pirate, a coal-eyed rascal with a wobble in his step, a ship called the Black Pearl, and a compass that pointed to what the heart desired. Johnny Depp says he based Jack Sparrow on Rolling Stone's Keith Richards, but some say the inspiration goes deeper. Turkish scholars, BBC historians, even old sea dogs nod and say, aye, that Jack Sparrow, he smells of John Ward. The ships, the swagger, the enemy of empires, the rogue turned renegade turned myth. And so the legend of John Ward, a.k.a. Yusuf Rees, Chakar the Axe, Sharky, and yes, even Birdie sails through time. Whispered in ballads, scrawled in sea journals, and winked at in films about cursed treasure and undead monkeys. Centuries later, he was reborn in one of the most unlikely places, a Disney soundstage, with a drawl of mischief, a smear of dark black under the eyes, and a bottle of rum that always seems half full. Johnny Depp brought the pirate spirit back to life, wild and unpredictable and strangely honorable beneath all of the grime. For years, fans have begged for more, for the Black Pearl to rise again, and for that ridiculous compass to swing back towards adventure. And now, the winds are shifting. Word in the taverns of Tinseltown is that Johnny may return yet, patching things up with old King Mickey himself, the mouse who built an empire, to once again don the beads, the braids, and the boots of Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean 6. Is it true? Well, time will tell. But if history has taught us anything, it's that pirates, real or imagined, have a way of coming back when the world needs them most, because legends never die, and neither does Jack. I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Pirate Republic. Don't forget to check out my book, Pirates of the Wild West, and sign up for the newsletter, The Pirate Republic. You can find it at thepiraterepublic.com. You can reach out to me at darkgravitystudios@gmail.com if you have any questions or comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast. I am vowing to do more episodes. So I wish you fair winds and lots of plunder in your life. Have a great week, mateys.